Welcome to this session. I'm Filipa Canelas, a content marketer and LinkedIn expert. And essentially, I help brands drive demand with LinkedIn content. And that's exactly the topic for today. Rethinking LinkedIn, how to drive demand using LinkedIn. Now, I like to call this the new LinkedIn because truly the old way of doing LinkedIn is dead. I'm not sure if it was ever alive, but truly with the increasing competition on LinkedIn for both organic and paid content, the old way of doing things is not exactly working anymore. And so in this session, I will literally highlight the three biggest mistakes I see on LinkedIn, tell you a strategy, and finish with practical tactics that you can implement immediately after the end of the session to fix those mistakes and improve your efforts. So grab pen and paper if you wish. Google Doc works too, and we're getting tactical here. So let's start with the first mistake. Treating LinkedIn as a blog post repository. Now, you've built a great content program. You have great playbooks, great blog posts, and essentially you want to drive demand with that content. You want people to click on your blog post, on your amazing website, potentially sign up for a newsletter or content upgrade, and eventually come back and subscribe or purchase your services. And those are legit goals. But the problem is when we just use LinkedIn to drop links. We use it as a repository for links. And the reason why it doesn't work, first one is LinkedIn favors native content. Basically, posts without links got 6x more reach than posts with links. So that means that if you're constantly using links on your content, you are reducing the reach of it. And now they even have these pop-ups. So when you click on an external link, you have a confirmation that you need to click to confirm that you really want to leave the platform, which means more friction. And the truth is, users don't want to leave the platform. Obviously, we marketers, we want our prospects to check everything that we are creating because we did it with them in mind. But that's kind of a selfish way approach to content marketing, because what we actually need to do instead is serve them the content in the format that they prefer and on the platform that they are actually on. And so if they want to hop next on your website, we know what to do, right? We can quickly open a new tab, drop your website, and get into there. So truly, let's not just use LinkedIn to drop links. And so the strategy is to use LinkedIn to distribute your content in a smart, strategic, and optimized way. And a great way to do this is to drop the value into the post itself. So instead of waiting to have them check out of LinkedIn and check another website, we really want to put all the value inside the platform. So here's an example. So this was a 2021 blog post. And instead of just dropping the link, which would get me like 2 likes, probably less, what I did was I took 2 hours of putting together some of the content from the blog into a native carousel to publish on LinkedIn. The same content distribution efforts were applied, so I still sent this LinkedIn post to all the people that were featured. And the best part is people, the users, they did not have to leave the platform. And the results basically prove it. So this one got super interesting engagement. So 450 likes, 60 reposts, 60,000 impressions. Sure, this could be vanity metrics, but the truth is when you're creating content with your target audience in mind, you want these numbers, right? You want to see big numbers. And just a quick tip over here, this doesn't mean you can't never mention your links. So what I usually do is use the comment section to drop some links to tell, well, if you're interested to check more, you can. Like, here's the link. Now, let's jump into the second mistake, which is to fail to tap into your personal brand. And this is even a bit more scary when it comes to the founder brand, because there's a lot of attention being paid. There's a lot of attention that people pay to founders, entrepreneurs, investors. And so when we learn to tap into their brands, we usually can reap really interesting rewards. And so The benefits of LinkedIn personal brands are immense. First, you have more impressions and more engagement. So posts that come from a LinkedIn profile, they drive 2.75 more impressions and 5x more engagement when compared to a company profile. I've seen even bigger numbers, but this just tells you that personal profiles have more engagement and reach than company pages. And second, founder-led growth simply speeds up the funnel. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the founder, but the team helps to speed up the funnel because they turn into another touch point in the buyer's journey. And so when multiple people are creating content, this means that you might get podcast invitations that put you in front of your target audience. You might get a job board filled with qualified candidates. You might have more leads, investment opportunities, brand awareness. Well, it's more touch points that help to reduce the length of the sales cycle and increase awareness. And so the strategy here is to really use C-levels, VPs, personal accounts to drive awareness and build touch points. You can do this with any other person in the company, but you can start with these positions, given that they usually have already bigger networks on the platform. Now, is it too time consuming? Well, it depends. What I say is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And so what I recommend is to leverage the 3 personal levers to create content for personal brands. And these levers are point of view, experiences, and internal data. Now, point of view can be basically an opinion, a strong opinion, controversial opinion. Doesn't have to be controversial though, on a specific topic, on a specific industry, niche, trends, you name it. And most of these experts have these point of views already. Second are experiences. So anyone in the company has a bunch of experiences. And if you learn to leverage them into your profile, you can definitely attract attention and people that are interested not just in what you have to say, but also to check out the company, of course. And third is internal data. So if your company has some interesting internal data, it's a great thing to leverage it for thought leadership content and to really position that data as something unique to you and to the company. So I highly recommend to leverage this one. And a couple of examples here. So Amanda Natividad she's VP of Marketing at SparkToro. She does this incredibly well, both on LinkedIn and Twitter. Ray Dalio does it too. So I usually say, if Ray Dalio does it, why wouldn't we? And then we also have here Harry Stubbings. He's the founder at 20VC. He also has a big presence on the platform. Now, if you are already creating content and you're actually doing it using your personal brand, there's something that you might be missing, which is the social side. Now, if you think about it, LinkedIn is a social platform. It's a social media platform, which means we have 2 sides. We have the social side and the media side. If you create content, you're taking care of the media side. Yet the social side is often misrepresented in this equation. And so what I highly recommend is to leverage the social side. And the reason why it works is, first of all, social platforms reward social activity. When you are more social, you get more traction, you get more engagement, which often leads to better opportunities. And the second one, which for me is the most interesting one, are the relationships that you get to build with other LinkedIn folks. So if you're building more touch points, if you're being more social online, you get to build more relationships that, well, can turn into opportunities. Obviously, we're not just thinking about relationships as opportunities, but sure, it's a great positive advantage of diving into LinkedIn. And so the strategy is to build an engagement strategy to support your demand generation activities. I've got a little 7-step checklist that you can grab. I usually block 30 to 60 minutes every day or every other day to go through this. So you just pick a couple of relevant LinkedIn connections, you engage with their content, you move the conversation into their DMs, and essentially you collaborate and build relationships. So for me, that's one of the key points, one of the key advantages really of using LinkedIn as a platform to drive demand, but also to build these relationships that just extend beyond any other social platform. A couple of examples here. So Eddie, he does it super well with his micro interviews. So I highly recommend following him. And Sarah, she also like interviews people, what she calls people of content. So she can share a bunch of tips with her audience by leveraging her own connections. And these were the 3 mistakes you must avoid on LinkedIn. Number 1, treating LinkedIn as a blog post repository. Number 2, failing to tap into personal brands. And number 3, ignoring the social side of LinkedIn. I'm Filipa Canelas. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn or email, and you can follow me on LinkedIn, of course, and YouTube to check out more of my marketing tips. Thank you so much.